Hey guys, it's Clay from Clear Critique, and I just saw the beta test, which I really want to talk about because it's one of the most interesting concepts for a movie I've seen, at least in the past year or two. Also, I only have trailer footage, so most of this video is just going to be trailer footage repeated, so maybe just kind of treat this more like audio. But anyway, here are my thoughts on the beta test. Spoiler free, here we go. The movie, in short, is about a very high-strung Hollywood agent of sorts who has anonymous blindfolded sex. And he goes on a paranoid journey to discover who the person is and who set him up for this to happen. This comes to us from Jim Cummings and P.J. McGabe, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, the former of whom I have mentioned before, having directed and wrote Thunder Road and The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Both of these are great movies I'd recommend, and Snow Hollow is my second favorite movie from 2019. The addition of a second writer, director, and actor in the film is an interesting development. Not only do they both give great performances, but especially in the writing, I have to say, this movie is something special. This film was made for $250,000. Now, naturally, someone making this film would see that as a massive drawback because there's just simply less you can do and you have to squeeze a lot into a small frame. However, this also leads to the necessity to make scenes short or at least purposeful. And I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the 2.5-hour runtime being kind of standard for big films now. That is a very long time, and some films do truly need that room, but more often than not, there is plenty of fat to trim. 10 minutes into the beta test, I knew the main character's personality, his goals, especially his weaknesses. I understood the strained relationship with the fiancé, the impetus for the main plot was established, and there was still time for a gruesome scene of violence. Now, tech thrillers, especially modern ones about social media and other apps, either sink into schlock or go over the top in the fear the internet sort of way. Despite how eccentric and even bizarre this movie is, the themes and presentation of the themes feel genuine. How hard it is to avoid eroticism in this day and age. How apps have turned many of us into unapologetic voyeurs. How none of our online behavior is truly deleted. And the terror of being, in the main character's own words, tarred and feathered the moment you slip up. One thing that might throw off people, though, is the lack of motivation for the protagonist. I was expecting blackmail, coercion, or other factors to come from this affair, but they don't really, and I can't say that really bothers me. The protagonist sets out on this journey on his own accord because he's, number one, unstable, and number two, it fits the theme. The concept that we don't want to be ambushed. We can't let things lie because since we are being watched every minute and with every click, people more ingrained in social networking, like our main character, can fall victim to paranoia. So it's a short movie and it moves very quickly, but the main thing I want to emphasize is that this is one of the most tense films I've seen in quite a while. Pretty much 5 minutes into the movie, I just was kind of curling into a ball while I was watching it. There's also a lot of small details I love. Most of those contribute to the film feeling almost too real. For example, we'll see an event happen, and then it'll cut to someone staring off in the distance, mouthing words, and you can tell they're replaying the event viscerally in their mind. It's not only enjoyable to watch, but feels very intimate. Like a scene where an unhappy couple silently checks into their Airbnb. It just hits home. See, the beta test tosses many balls in the air, both in themes and tones. And if there's one consistent problem I'm seeing from people that bothered me a little bit, but probably not as much, is that some of these themes are thoroughly explored, and some of them are kinda left dangling. Infidelity, data harvesting, social media, fear of commitment, and the amount of facades we create when we're in certain industries. And on that note, I find it a bit odd that every article about this movie talks about how the film rips apart Hollywood. Like, that was the main drive? I mean, obviously the screenwriters would know best, but I didn't see it that way. This was about the faker of the industry like I just mentioned, but also the more subtle lies we tell every day, in social gatherings, in a relationship. More and more we are putting on a performance for many reasons, especially the fear of admitting who we really are to anyone. So let's see, there's a special effects shot that was a little janky, there's a blonde actor later on that gave a very distracting performance, and the classical music, while functioning satisfactorily, is comprised of the kind of tracks that get overused in media. It's a very modern movie, and the original music not only keeps that tense atmosphere together, but it just fits the story better. So taking all of that, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10, which, keep in mind, is pretty high for me. It's a great movie for all the reasons I listed, but I think the biggest praise I can give is that I can't stop thinking about it. If we don't give some support to smaller filmmakers making quality content instead of slobbering over mannequins and spandex, this medium is going to die. Not a financial death, but an artistic one. And trust me, that's not the main reason I recommend it. The main reason I recommend a movie is because it's good. And The Beta Test is a damn good movie, and it's a breath of fresh air. Jim Cummings and PJ McCabe should really be proud of their efforts. Looking forward to the next one, guys. So have you guys watched this film or the other films I've mentioned? Do you want to see more solo movie reviews like this? Let me know in the comments. Check me out on Twitter, Letterboxd, and of course my goofy little Twitch account. And as always, thanks for watching.